Hey guys, welcome back. Today we've got our follow-up to why we started the ketogenic diet, and in that video, which I will link up here, we asked if you had any questions, and some of you did. So this is our Q&A of the questions that you asked in that video.
Today, after the weather. It looks like we're on the news.
It does, kind of. All right, so if you're new around here, we are on a ketogenic diet. Go watch the other video that I linked. So we've been doing it. I am now about 6 weeks in, and you are fully probably about three. Maybe I'm closer to 7. I don't know. Something like that. I started in August, and he started after August. So
About 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. The first thing that I want to address, because many of you had questions, a few months ago I posted about my rare autoimmune disorder and my blood work and all of that. And one of the reasons I started keto, which was in the other video, is because of that. And so many of you want to know what my current blood work looks like. And I am happy to announce everything is in the normal range aside from one thing, and that's my inflammation marker, which with an autoimmune disorder, that's pretty common. But even my inflammation has gone down over since starting keto, which is great because that's one of the main points of why I started. So even the inflammation has gone down from the last few times I've had blood work done, but everything else is normal. I no longer am classified as anemic. My liver enzymes are back within a normal range. My creatinine, it's not creatine, it's different. Creatinine. Anyway, everything that used to not be normal and was low or high is perfecto. So I'm gonna blame it on keto because I didn't really change anything else other than taking an iron pill, but I was taking that for the last few months, and even with the iron pill, it improved things, but it didn't put them at the levels they are now. Nylan asks, are there any foods that you are missing? And I'm gonna let him take this one.
Not a ton that I'm really missing. I mean, it's one of those things where, we still let the kids eat pretty much whatever they want. So every once in a while they'll pick out like donuts or something, and it's like, oh, I miss that. And the fact that, I work in a grocery store, every once in a while I'll walk past like a new item and it's like, man, that sounds good. That'd be one of those things where I'd just pick it up, bring it home, and we'd all split it for a little while and probably never eat it again. But for me, the big things that I'm missing are probably ice cream. We got a Vitamix and we had like honeymoon period with it where it was like shakes and stuff like that. I miss that quite a bit. And my biggest thing would probably have to be cereal.
Which is surprising.
Lived on cereal and didn't realize how much I was going to miss it until can't have it anymore because it's too high in carbs.
For me, there's not anything like specific. I will go through phases, like he said, like the kids had donuts and it's pumpkin spice season, and if y'all don't know me, I'm like pumpkin spice queen, and I've had to give most, if not all of that up. There are keto-friendly alternatives, but it requires a lot of time in the kitchen, which I'm not willing to do, so obviously I don't miss it that much. So that's like the main thing, like currently. Other than that, there's nothing that I love pasta, I loved bread, don't get me wrong, but I don't like miss it to the point where it's like him and cereal. I don't miss it like that.
I don't know, those Oreo things that you made the other day with the kids were pretty appetizing looking.
They were cute. Yeah, that video will be going up soon too. So next question from Kate Watkins. Have you noticed positive effects with your autoimmune disorder? And as I kind of mentioned already, yes, I have. I feel better. I have more energy. My inflammation has gone down. I still have some sore joints once in a while. I don't have to take Motrin quite as often, so that's good. But I'm still also, like, my body is still in the beginning phases of this. It could take months and months to really heal from the inside out with food choices, and I understand that. So obviously it's doing something positive to me because my blood work is showing positive results, but I overall feel a lot better. I'm sleeping better, like way better. So yeah, I feel pretty good overall.
I can attest to that. Obviously, I don't have an autoimmune disorder or anything like that, but she used to nap a lot, and that'd be one of those things where, cool, she's gonna take a nap, I'm gonna play a video game.
So he's really missing nap time.
Well, with the amount of time that I'm working.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't really matter. But there's a couple times you're like, I'm gonna take a nap, and then you don't.
And then I don't. As long as I get up and get moving again, because I still get kind of like that dip in energy throughout the day. I mean, I'm up at 6:40 with the kids and getting them ready, and we do a lot of running. And yes, I know it's not 2:30 in the morning. He wakes up way too early. You should check out his day in the life of dad video that was posted. Linked up here. So yes, positive effects. Woo! Did you just bump it out of the way? Amber M asks, I'm curious to know if you've seen huge huge improvements in your side effects over the past 5 weeks, which I kind of just answered. Also, I'm curious to know if you've had to drastically increase the grocery budget. And if you've watched our budget videos, you'll know that the grocery budget has gone up. I wouldn't say necessarily drastically. It's more so that, I don't know, it's gone up probably by about $100 a month, which to some that might be drastically. To me, it doesn't feel like it's like horribly over budget. We are still learning, and by we, I mean I am still learning how to cook frugally on a budget, on our budget for keto, because it's a lot more meat and protein and fats. So I have to choose kind of like what things we want to spend that money on. And then the kids also are still eating lots of fresh fruit and vegetables, and then like other meats, because they don't always eat the same exact meat we do, just because of their taste preferences. But I wouldn't say drastically, it has gone up. I'm hoping to be able to rein it back in. It might be that we stay at $500 a month, which we're feeling better. So to me, the cost is worth it, I guess. I mean, as long as we're able to swing it and we have the money, we're gonna do as well as we can with what we've got. Janice Ann Battersby has 3 questions. Number 1, how long did it take you to get into ketosis? For me, I don't know exactly because I didn't have the urine test strips to test, but it was within my first 7 days. I would say probably around day 5, if I had to guess, just by the way I was feeling, without using ketone like urine strips, which are not the most accurate, and we get that, but without using those, some of the things you can watch for are just the way you're feeling. I had what I would describe as a brain buzz for quite a few days as I was entering that, and then your breath and urine take on a whole different smell. As gross as that sounds, most people can tell they're in ketosis because of those 2 things alone. And then for you,
I have not been having the easiest time with this. Pretty much I have been kind of bouncing in and out as we've been trying to figure out what my macros need to be, due to the fact that I'm one of these weird people who are like, hey, let's go on a diet, and hey, let's build muscle at the same time.
yeah.
So trying to get in the right amount of protein, but still hit a calorie surplus while still trying to stay in ketosis. Like, I've gone everywhere from not being in it to being pretty deep into it, and then all of a sudden, for no apparent reason that I can tell, I'll be completely out of it again. And then just with the physical nature of most of the things I do throughout the day, whether it be working out or my job, I can usually tell that I'm in it reasonably well, because I do feel a little bit of fatigue in my muscles, because with ketosis, obviously, in order to burn energy for your muscles, it has to pull that energy from elsewhere in the body as opposed to straight from the muscle itself. So, you know, I can feel a little bit more fatigued than I normally would.
I don't know anything about that. So yeah, he's had a little bit more trouble. We're doing our best to try it, and for him, we're even contemplating doing more of like the lazy keto and not really tracking, because another thing for him, most people when they're in ketosis, they aren't as hungry.
Yeah.
This strange creature over here is constantly hungry still, even though he's eating like a full keto approved diet. So I don't understand, because I can eat 2 small meals and like my keto coffee in the morning and be completely fine. He will get done eating a huge dinner and like a whole bunch of other stuff and still be hungry. I don't know what's going on with him. We're still playing around with it. So
that's one of those things where, you know, we've obviously been doing our research, and part of that is watching other people who do the keto diet, and a lot of those people do the keto diet and they exercise, and almost every single one of them, it seems like they're barely eating anything, and they're just like, well, I'm full for the day, and they're good through the rest of the night. I'm like, I just sat down, like one day I was trying to condense all my meals together to see if that would help, and I sat down.
He demolished a lot. It was probably
an omelet, the oatmeal, chia seed stuff.
A work lunch.
Like pretty much almost everything I ate in the day outside of dinner.
Almost 2,000 calories in one sitting. And
I was still hungry after the fact. Like, I don't know if I'm just like a genetic freak when it comes to my metabolism, or what, but it's just I burn through everything I eat almost instantaneously, it seems.
And that we kind of answered Janice Ann's second question, which is how did you know you were in ketosis? I used the urine strips, and then also I could tell just like I woke up, my mouth was, I had to immediately brush my teeth because it was tasting funky.
You can pretty much just tell by the way that you feel, but we also use the urine strips just to tell the depth. Yeah. Essentially.
I don't use them anymore, because once you get to a certain point into ketosis, those are only measuring like the excess ketones in your urine.
Obviously things that your body considers waste.
Yeah.
So throwing them out.
So if your body's using the ketones, which is what your goal is, like if your body's burning fat and using those ketones, you're not going to have excess eliminated. The further you get, the less accurate they are. So I haven't really used them recently. I am just assuming that I'm staying because of the way I'm feeling. So that's how we knew. And then how do you know that you're staying in ketosis? Do you have any strange side effects that aren't going away? I don't know exactly what you meant by that, but we both
The one thing that I can say that was, I mean, it's a side effect that I've dealt with in the day of the life of dad. You saw that I was drinking a lot of water. Getting things like moving through your system, if you know what I mean.
Bathroom habits.
That's one of those things where changing up your diet will make you realize things that you're missing that in like your, nutritional aspects. Fiber or magnesium or just hydration in general. So I know she said she had an issue with that in the beginning, and I definitely had a day or two that was pretty bad with that, but say we kind of figured out what we needed and have moved forward from that. That was a fairly unpleasant side effect to be aware of if you're considering this diet.
And that's something, I mean, everyone that does keto will tell you that, because you don't eat as many vegetables, which again goes against everything we were raised on. But the vegetables that you do eat are like your green leafy type stuff, so that helps. And then he eats a keto oatmeal every morning because that has really high fiber, which contrasts the carbs. So I think that has helped a lot too. But as far as other strange side effects that haven't gone away, once in a while I can tell I get a headache because I can tell my electrolytes are off. So there are a few mornings a week where I have to start my morning with like salt water. I make it into kind of like a lemonade, salt water basically, to get my salt replenished. But other than that, no. Hopefully that answered your questions. And then the last question is from Kathy Hobson-Kidder. She asks, what do you do when you have a food craving, if you have them? For me, typically if I'm having a craving, I want something sweet, because you don't get a whole lot of sweetness, because like I haven't eaten fruit once on this, which some of you are just like, what? You can eat berries and stuff. I don't make room for them in my macros because there are other things that are more important to me. So sometimes I'm craving something sweet at night, or after I've eaten dinner, I do get a little hungry. So I'll have tea with just a little bit of sugar-free sweetener, which again, controversial, just a splash, just enough to sweeten it. And then like a splash of heavy whipping cream. So to me, that like satisfies my sweet tooth, and tea is nice and calming. And then another option is to find a keto substitute for that option. We haven't done a whole lot of keto substitutes. Like we haven't done like keto pancakes or anything like that.
So that does sound amazing.
I try to stay away from that because that's just, for me personally, I know that's just leading me down a road of, oh, then I'm gonna want bread, and then I'm gonna want cereal, and then it's just you replicating your old diet habits with like approved foods. That doesn't work for me.
That is kind of the beauty of the internet at this point though, is if there's anything that you're really missing, if you're willing to spend what seems like a lot of times a gratuitous amount of time in the kitchen.
And money sometimes.
Yes. You can find essentially what you like in a keto form. It's just gonna be
our pizza video. Did that go up? Yeah, it did. I know, it just keeps bonking them in the head. We did a keto pizza with a chicken crust, so you can check that out. Which we need to make that
again, because that was amazing.
Something that recently is sugar-free Jell-O. Again, controversial. Sugar-free items are one of those things that people are going to either glare at you or be like, oh yeah, I do that too. Sugar-free Jell-O with a splash of heavy whipping cream. It makes it kind of creamy. That's another option. For you, cravings.
I like to think that I have pretty strong willpower when it comes to stuff. Despite the fact that, like I said previously, I really, really miss cereal. Food is just food to me. It's just a means by which to get energy into my body, essentially. So it's just like, man, I can't have cereal. That'd be nice. Well, I better go eat something else. I'm one of the people who can just eat the same thing every day, and it never bothers me. I just eat what I can when I'm allowed to have it.
And it helps that I'm the one that does most of the meal planning and cooking, so he's just like, oh, I'm eating what she's giving me, so there's like no time for cravings. He does get fat bombs relatively frequently, which kind of tastes like a fattier version of a cheesecake.
I was gonna say they're pretty sweet, which is nice.
Yeah.
But it's hard finding other ways that aren't costly in order to hit my macros.
His macros are crazy. But that's all the questions we had specifically. If this jogged any more questions, or if you didn't get in on the first round, definitely drop them down below. We'd be more than happy to answer them. We are still learning as we go, as you can tell. So this is still new to us, but it's been treating us well, and we hope to continue on a successful path with the keto.
Hopefully I can find something that works out for me. It's been a little bit of a struggle, but we're trying to get there.
That's all, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we will see you later. Bye.
She's about to make me an omelet.
True story.
Of course. Oh no. eye camera. Is it this one? We'll find out.
No, it's the one.
I'm staring into your soul.